Hello, everybody. This is Nancy from Rise Higher Astrology, and today we're going to be talking about the North Node and its movement into the sign of Aries, which takes place in just a couple of weeks from now. Hard to believe. It's here, finally. So, the North Node is a mathematical point which is along the moon's ecliptic. And in astrology, it represents what your life purpose is, what you were meant to do here in this lifetime. And for the past year and a half, the North Node has been in the sign of Taurus for the collective. And that's a lot about finding or creating stability, being grounded, and leaning into our values. And on July 17th, the North Node is going to be moving into the sign of Aries. And this is a totally different feel. North Node in Taurus is slow, it's methodical, it's a fixed sign kind of feeling. Aries is a cardinal sign, so it's more of a get up and go, seize the day, now is the time. So when the North Node moves into Aries, we're going to be learning more about trusting our instincts. We're going to be learning how to stand up for ourselves and becoming our own person. And the opposite point of Aries North Node is going to be Libra and South Node. So Aries is the zodiac sign of me, and Libra is the sign of we, of the relationships and groups that we have in our lives. So when we choose to move towards Aries North Node, we're choosing to move away from codependency, and we're also moving away from having to seek the approval of others. So let's get started. I'm going to go down through all 12 houses to see where this is hitting your birth chart. So starting out with North Node Aries in the first house, you're going to learn how to take your own direction in life. You're going to be letting go of the need to have others approve of you. Aries energy is going to drive you forward, and you're going to become more assertive. Learn how to be comfortable walking your own path. The Aries North Node in the first house is asking you to build your own direction in life by being decisive and not a people pleaser. Aries in the first house is all about getting in touch with your masculine identity. So all of us have a divine masculine and a divine feminine within us. And when we get in touch with the masculine side, it's allowing us to refuse to let anyone dictate the way that you live your life. Aries North Node is driving you to develop your independence. With the South Node in Libra, you're going to feel content being alone and not constantly needing to be inside of a relationship. You're going to learn to not lean so hard on the people in your life. North Node Aries in the second house is going to show you how to take the lead in meeting your own fundamental survival needs. These Aries energy is going to ensure that your personal values are confronted, and you're going to make sure people know what you stand for, your values. North Node Aries in the second house is going to make you assertive when it comes to earning your own livelihood. So you're going to be also releasing codependent financial and emotional relationships that you have developed. It's all about being reliable on yourself. And this might make you a little bit more selfish when dealing with your own possessions and finances, but it's okay. It's okay. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't apologize. This is where you're leaning towards. North Node Aries in the second house is also going to give you the push to be more impulsive from time to time, buying some things that you want. Now, the key to this is from time to time, not all the time. Okay, North Node Aries in the third house, you're going to be pushed to assert your own personal ideas and make up your mind about things. You're going to become more independent. Yes, Aries energy pushes you to allow yourself to study and learn whatever it is you want to learn. And this North Node placement in your third house, it indicates a need to move away from being dependent on the dogma, religions, and having the courage to follow your own ideas. It's okay for you to break away from the pack. Aries in the third house, which is also the house of communication, is going to ask you to be brave enough to write down your thoughts, your ideas, and recognize that you have a personal viewpoint that is separate and independent. Don't be afraid to do this. You're going to be urged to know what's on your mind, speak your mind, speak up for yourself, okay? Be less concerned about what people think about you. This is how this will interpret for you. North Node Aries in the fourth house. With this placement in the fourth house of home, family, roots, and self-care, you're going to be asked to have a private life in which you get to do what you want to do. And you're going to be less concerned about getting approval. So if you want to take a time out to recharge your batteries, then that's what you're going to do. And you're not going to feel bad about it. Nobody's going to be giving you a guilt trip about it. Fourth house energy is going to push you to be okay with not having a career, not being in the limelight. It's okay. All right. You can take a break. You don't have to be constantly on the move as far as work goes. Aries in the fourth house is going to push you to become comfortable with unpleasant feelings, believe it or not. So allow yourself to feel angry when something happens to you. Don't hold it in, let it out, release it, let it go, okay? It's going to urge you to take the lead in caring for your own emotional well-being. Okay, North Node Aries in the fifth house. With North Node Aries in the fifth house, this is the house of creativity, self-expression, and you're going to be urged by this energy to follow the impulses to shine as an individual. So fifth house is the house of Leo, and that is all about shining brightly and being proud. And Aries in the fifth house asks you to recognize your need for creative expression. So you're asked to remove yourself from a codependent friend or group dynamic. Take yourself out on a date. Or you can feel free to start a romantic relationship with someone, but do it in a way where you are leading the way. You're not being dependent on somebody else for your own happiness. North Node Aries in the fifth house pushes you to become more assertive when it comes to love. Okay. North Node Aries in the sixth house. This is going to ask you to set your own schedule. You're going to be more in charge of your own schedule, setting a schedule of objectives for yourself and then sticking to it. Learning practical and independent skills for yourself. Aries in the sixth house of routines, it asks you to break out of deep passivity, which prevents you from being fully present in every moment. So taking the initiative to care for your health and releasing patterns of indecision, that's going to be really key for you. You're going to be pushed to be brave enough to release old family skeletons, secrets, and you're going to be brave enough to face the world. You're going to become more independent of handouts. You're going to become more independent of institutions. You're going to be fighting for your health. You're going to be fighting against the system. North Node Aries in the sixth house is asking you to realize that it's the things that you do every day, in the moment, that creates your life. Okay. North Node Aries in the seventh house. This is the house of marriage contracts and relationships. So what this Aries energy is asking you to do, it's asking you to be a strong partner. It's asking you to be assertive in your relationships. It's getting what you want out of your marriage, realizing that it's okay to ask for things. It's okay to argue. It's not okay to shrink inward. It's not okay to put up with things. Aries in the 7th house pushes you to make sure that your relationships are meeting your needs and that nobody's pushing you around, nobody's walking all over you. So remain an individual within a relationship, but be decisive about the kinds of partnerships you want to get involved in, okay? Use diplomacy naturally to solve your marital problems if you have any. Don't be afraid to do that. North Node Aries in the 8th house. Now, this is asking you to allow yourself to be sexually impulsive. This is a very interesting one. This is where mine is. So as I call the 8th house, the house of everything behind closed doors. So it's asking you to be more open sexually, even competitive. So take the initiative in sex and be fearless about it. And you know what? Don't be ashamed of your body. Your body's beautiful. It really is. Own it. It's time for us to own it. Aries in the 8th house is also, it's going to ask you to admit that you have anger concerning other people's priorities. So this is a little bit about doing some shadow work and not being regretful or apologetic about that. You're going to be valuing self-transformation because that's all 8th house stuff. You're going to value self-transformation over dependence on possessions, finding it easier to spontaneously let go of things, okay? North Node Aries in the 8th house is going to ask you to bravely confront all of your emotional baggage, okay? And so this might be a good time for you to go see a counselor and to do some inner work for a while, for the next year and a half anyways, while we're working our way through this North Node energy. Okay, North Node Aries in the 9th house. With this energy, you're being asked to take action to get beyond your small thinking. You're being asked to assert your need to explore on all different levels. Explore the world, explore your mind, explore education. Allow yourself to assert your own philosophy of life. Aries in the 9th house is asking you to fight on your own behalf of what you think is right, to stand up for things, being brave enough to think really big and then taking action behind it to broaden your own horizons. This is exciting. I love this. Getting beyond the hesitation of making the small decisions. Take leaps of faith. Letting go of the need to ask someone's opinion before making a big decision. Getting angry about what is meaningful in your life. So with this placement, you're not filling your days with gossip or pettiness or idleness. You're setting your sights on bigger things that matter to you, things that really count. Okay, North Node in the 9th house. North Node Aries in the 10th house. This is an exciting one too. So with North Node Aries in 10th house, this is your structure, this is your career, this is your public image. You're being asked to admit that you don't want to be maybe a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad. Maybe you don't want to do the work that you're doing now. It's being brave enough to change your career. It's being brave enough to say, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to school and get that degree. And you're striving to conquer the world outside. You're entering a new profession and taking your ability to relate to people in a familiar way and using it to build a professional reputation. So Aries in the 10th house pushes you to let people see you. Be unafraid to really dig into your curiosities when it comes to your career and your public image. Okay, it's time to become a leader. And North Node Aries in the 10th house pushes you to become decisive in running your professional life, opening up that business that you've always wanted to open, and becoming an entrepreneur, maybe. Okay, and realizing that you may piss off a few people. You might even piss off your family, your parents. But it's time for you to set yourself adrift and see what you really want to do in this life. Okay, set yourself adrift with the intention of finding yourself happy, doing the career that you've always wanted to do. Okay, North Node Aries in the 11th house. So with this one, this is in the house of your friendships, your groups, society, and you're being pushed here to take the initiative to share your creative passions with other people. So this is pushing for you to be a leader, start a movement or brand new group based on mutual interests with others. So you're leading your friends. Aries in the 11th house directs you to fight on behalf of social issues or using your creativity to serve a greater cause. And you're letting go of the need to be the center of attention. So you're doing this, you're becoming a leader and stepping up so that you can serve the collective. You're allowing yourself to be part of a group while retaining your individual identity. And at this point, you're realizing that there's more to life than just love and romance. You're becoming self-motivated to make a difference, to leave your mark and your legacy in this world. So you're letting go of your partying ways. You're letting go of wasting time. Okay? You're serving a greater cause. And I think that this is beautiful for you. All right. North Node in the 12th house. So with North Node Aries in the 12th, this is all about what's going on in your subconscious mind. And it's also the house of endings and completions. And you're being asked to make the decision to release yourself from the daily grind. And you're going to become more spiritually independent. So you're taking the first steps towards your spiritual work when this North Node shifts into Aries. And you're moving away from the codependent work relationships. You're deciding to put your health and well-being into your own hands, and you're co-creating with God. You're co-creating with Spirit. And this is really going to level you up for the next phase of your life. You're learning how to become more confident on your own individual spiritual path, and you're becoming less reliant on body therapies, things like that. And you're seeking more spiritual therapies. You're going inside of yourself, doing more meditative work and allowing space for Spirit to fill you with Spirit's light and direction. Okay, so North Node Aries in the 12th house, asking you to be brave enough to embrace the unknown and move towards feeling comfortable being by yourself. Okay, so it's okay. It's okay to be alone. And just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Okay, sometimes we need that space just to decompress and to have that relationship, that very important relationship with Spirit, so that we can receive messages and be guided in the right directions. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope that everybody enjoyed. And I will talk to you soon. Love and light to everybody. Take care.